G'day, I'm Brendan. I'm a wine nerd. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to rush through this. This thing I've really been obsessing over for quite some time. So if I am a grower in McLaren Vale and I've got the right site, dry farmed bush vine Grenache, I can yield upwards of about $5,000 a tonne. If I do pretty much mimicking the same thing in the Riverland, add irrigation, the max I can really cap out is about $500 a tonne. So this big disparity, this 10x disparity is the thing that I've been really obsessing over, because it's really pushed us down a particular path to be able to correct that, which is actually to decrease supply, increase scarcity, but it typically only yields incremental gains over around about a decade or so. The Swartland, however, went down a very different path 15 years ago. They actually, rather than decrease supply, they worked really hard on increasing demand. And they effectively, within about a 15-year time period, 10x'd the value of their land. I wanted to figure out how they did that, so I went there. So it looks like if you just stop irrigating, you make money. It's not entirely true, but it turns out it's definitely a part of it. Why Swartland? None of these wines existed 15 years ago. All of them are over $100 a bottle, and the one on the far right-hand side is $350 a bottle. So if you can imagine that coming from our Riverland, it is possible. They've done it, we can do it too. Can it be done? You betcha. None of those vines have irrigation there, and the one on the bottom left, that's a 3-year-old brand new established vineyard being consulted by this guy, Yaku, from Visual Viticulture, who's working actually with an Aussie guy, Dylan Greek, if you know the name. If you don't, you should. He's based up in the Barossa, and they're working together on a bunch of really interesting dry-grown establishment programs, which we should be paying attention to. But that gets less than 300 mil of rain a year, same as the Riverland, and a lower water table, so it can be done. Here's the hard part, though. It's not actually just about dry farming, it's about culture. So this is Artie Bardenhorst, Evan Sardi, Craig Hawkins, David Sardi, as well as the Milanoos and about 3 or 4 other producers in that area. These guys are largely they're like diehards for quality. I'm not even making this up. They have this crazy thing called a pizza night where they crack open all the greatest wines of the world and they share them amongst each other for fun. Like, they have a one-track mind for quality, and quantity doesn't even enter the scope of whatever they talk about. These are the metaphorical leaders of that particular area. And the impact was so big. Like, it has largely solidified South Africa's world stage involvement in the wine industry, probably for the next 50 years. It was so big that this guy, Jonathan Daniel Stein, wrote a thesis, actually got his doctorate of philosophy. It's a really big worded name thing, but basically it was capturing in 275 pages of riveting reading of how impactful it truly was. And so I used AI to, boom, grab that 275 pages into 5 points. We need to firstly find the Riverland old vines. There is no record. We don't even have a record of where all the old vines are. Bit silly. Connect them with winemakers that actually do care about making quality wine. Classify Riverland terroir with experts. We need geologists and viticulturists to actually say why, give authenticity framing to it. Empower marketers with those stories to be able to convert those into narratives that people can connect to. Then we need to form a group, get some funding, and amplify the shit out of it. And that's how we will Swartland our Riverland.